Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Cheers, everybody. Coffee with the Klines.
In the new year.
New year. Welcome. Welcome to the new year. Hello, 2023. We got some health and fitness trends that you need to ditch. 5 of them.
5 of them. Yes, that's right. You guys are probably being bombarded right now by a lot of noise in the health and fitness industry telling you to do this, do that, do that. And so we're going to talk about the 5 trends that we don't think you should jump on from our own personal experience or just working with hundreds of thousands of people that have tried things that don't work.
Yes.
Or don't stick.
And so if you aren't familiar with what we've been doing lately, since November, we've been going live every Wednesday for Coffee and the Klines. This ends up on the podcast, okay? And we're dropping a podcast video every day. It's starting to get
Monday
traction.
Through Friday or Monday through Sunday?
Monday through Monday.
Oh
we're
my
dropping
gosh,
a podcast.
so Monday through Sunday.
We may every once in a while miss one here and there, but we are committed to every day, one podcast every day, because we want to take your mind and expand it outside of what the traditional word fitness means. Physical fitness, that's not what we come for. That's what we do when we go. But what happens is, that's really important, is who we become because of what we do. And so mental fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness is that well-rounded definition. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I just wanted to let you know that you can go to the podcast and you can listen to this back, and you can listen to an episode every morning or evening or whatever you desire. On your commute, on your walking your dog, just make sure that if you are watching it on YouTube, that you're not doing that in your car. We don't want you to do that in your car. Okay.
That's right.
All right, Morgan. So I'll do number 1, and then how about you do number 2? Okay?
Sure.
All right. So 5 health and fitness trends to ditch. Number 1, start and stop dates. Start and stop dates. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have a jump start. That doesn't mean that you can't have a period of time to where you hold yourself really accountable so that you can get a little momentum and you can get going. But these start and stop dates, these quick fixes of, hey, I'm going to lose 15 pounds in 30 days, this is not going to work. It historically hasn't worked. Don't think that it's going to work in the future. And if you've tried something like this, you probably know that as soon as you add a start and a stop date, what you're really doing is you're just counting down to the days where you go back to who you used to be. And the entire ideology around what we're trying to preach and what we're trying to bring to this industry is lifestyle change in the context of how important it is to continue your physical fitness, because it is the gateway, the key that unlocks so much mental goodness, right? A lot of members that we have that do have any mental health issues, problems, concerns, like we all do when we go in the ebbs and flows. That physical fitness, that staple, that anchor, that's going to keep you going in the right direction through the ebbs and flows of life. So stop and start dates. Just start today and then show up tomorrow. If you maybe want to not considering going to the gym the next day, that's fine. Just don't do that today. Today we got to go.
Yeah, and I think if you are doing anything that's with start and stop dates, like we've done challenges within our gym that does have a start and stop date, but what we're doing within that window is we're teaching foundational habits, right? We're doing things that are very realistic beyond what that end date may be. So if you're in some sort of challenge right now, I would just ask yourself, am I doing habits, or am I creating habits that is sustainable for me 365 days a year? And if the answer is no, and you cannot wait until that 30-day mark is over to, like Devan said, to go back to your old habits, then that is not a good challenge for you. That is not teaching you foundational habits that are going to help you stay healthy every single day of the year. So
number 2.
That's number 1. Number 2 is detoxes. Okay, I see so much noise on my social media about, a 30-day quick fix or a detox tea or some sort of pills that you can take to de-bloat you and lose all the water weight, basically, is what it is. And so don't get hung up on detoxes. Like our body naturally detoxes for us. And if you do have liver detox issues, that's a whole nother problem. But likely your liver is doing its job and it's detoxing all of the things that you maybe ate wrong, right? I spent the whole break eating whatever I wanted, drinking more than I normally drink. We all, have splurged here and there. Don't feel like you need to come back to life with some sort of cleanse or detox, because really all you need to do is start drinking more water, putting health in your body again, moving your body, and your body is naturally going to detox.
And it's the same thing as the start and stop dates. As soon as you usually these detoxes have some type of 3-day, 1-day, 7-day associated with them, or 30-day, whatever the time frame may be. And what happens at the end of that detox for most people? What happens? They retox. You go right back into the old habits that got you there in the first place. And so slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Just keep compounding healthy habits on top of each other. Now, if I think the term's autophagy, and I believe so, and that term basically means that when you fast, which I do recommend every once in a while if you are feeling that way, hey, let your body just do its natural processes. Give yourself 12, 16, 18, 24 hours without eating any food, just drinking water, and let autophagy happen. I think that's the term. I could be wrong. Somebody fact check me on that. But it's the term where your body basically eats itself, eats the bad parts of itself, and it is, in a sense, a detox. That's what Morgan is talking about. So number 3 is cardio overkill. Cardio overkill. Building muscle is the most important thing that you could do when it comes to your physical fitness. There's so many different realms of fitness and different verticals, and they all have their own use cases. But the universal use case that adds longevity to your life and structure to your posture and turns your body into a calorie burning machine, a caloric machine, it's like, that's muscle, building muscle. And if you overkill on cardio, you're doing so much cardio. You see the classic hour on the treadmill every day with no strength training, or 2 hours on the elliptical, or even just walking for a really long time. I enjoy walking. I think walking's
really good.
I think it's so good for you, and especially could I think it's autophagy. I don't know if that's the word, but it helps with that too, if you were to do a fast. But I think my point of putting this on here for me is I see so many people that will just go out knowing that fitness is important and just overkill the cardio. Too much cardio, not enough food, and not enough strength training. And so we really want to focus on building the musculature that you have, right? Like building your frame, building your posture. And over time, what happens is that you actually, by building that muscle, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate goes up, and you're actually burning more calories at rest than you were before, thus eliminating the need for extra calorie burn because your body is just turning into that machine. So this is just the trend that I think is too prevalent. I think it's becoming less popular over time, but we need to have death to cardio overkill. Morgan?
Yeah, I think, we're not ones to hate on any form of exercise because we love to get people moving. But I think what our message is it's not just cardio that's going to help you reach your goals and have optimal health. It's really picking up weights, and even if it's just body weight to begin with, doing things outside of just the running on the treadmill or the elliptical or the stairs. That is definitely your typical, that's how you're going to lose weight, is spending an hour on those machines. And I can tell you guys, if you haven't gone to Burn, we see more results when people start picking up weights, strength training, building that lean muscle. Like Devan said, that creates more of that metabolic burn, more of that calorie burn. And it really is setting you up for long-term health benefits as well. So don't stop your cardio if that's something that you love to do and it fills you up, but pick up some weights in the new year and see how it changes your body.
Number 4, getting all of your protein from whole food. Now, the reason that this is number 4 for me is because I do see this a lot as advice. And by the way, we're not here giving advice. We're just here telling you what we think is the future and the wave and what we're going to preach ourselves and what we're going to do ourselves. And we're just experience sharing. And so I personally, there's no chance I get the protein that I need to if I have to do all whole food all the time. And I think it's almost like this clean diet mentality. And let me explain. It's like sometimes having like a clean diet, meaning that you're not putting artificials, a lot of sugar, a lot of alcohol, processed foods, packaged foods, that type of thing. You're not putting these things, in like people that say hey, eat clean all the time. It's like, okay, well, if you go to McDonald's, 2 days a week, well, then it's rendering that clean diet like useless. And so it's like, is that really possible to practically for the, like, just say the general lifestyle, is it actually possible to eat clean all the time? Like, if that's the expectation, then I'm failing greatly, and I'm a pretty healthy person. All my blood works great. My body fat's in check. I'm building muscle, and I don't eat clean all the time. And I have a proposition I don't think anybody really does, unless you are a extreme outlier in the 0.0001%. It's the same conversation about protein. It's like getting all of it from whole food. It sounds nice ideologically, but at the end of the day, is it practical? Can you actually maintain that? Or is that one of those symptoms of the stop and start diet, going back to number one, or a detox, right? Like, I want to get my body weight in grams of protein every day, but I don't want to get that from whole food. And so I started researching that. And what I actually found, and you guys can Google this too, in Google scholarly journals, they have, I forget what college did it, but there was a peer-revised study that was done on the bioavailability of protein, and guess what won? Out of all the protein sources,
a supplement based on what
a
you're
liquid
saying.
protein supplement, all right, was the number one most bioavailable source of protein. So I can't get all of your protein from whole foods anymore because it's not practical, and I think it's just advice giving without like considering the person, considering the lifestyle, considering all the things that we all go through on a daily basis. I was just on a plane for like 2 days and out of town. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Either go to Chipotle every meal, or Whole Foods every meal, which gets uber expensive, or bring some protein powder with me in my bag and make sure that I have the 100-gram supplement of protein daily each day. So you don't need all of your protein from food. And in fact, not my opinion, in fact, bioavailable whey and plant protein in liquid form is the best statistically for you to build muscle.
Yep. Awesome. All
I'm
right.
passionate about that one.
Number 5. This one's mine. I said restricting calories, or just a restrictive diet in general. So I think as the new year approaches, and you guys are creating, or people are creating New Year's resolutions, and they feel like they overdid it so much that now they need to restrict, and now they need to remove food groups from their diet, or they need to go so low in their calories. And I just want to remind everybody once again that is not going to change what you've done necessarily in the past. That's just going to wreak havoc on your body right now. And that's not going to help you create, again, sustainable. Devan and I have created this stuff thinking about what is sustainable and what is not. And so the 5 trends that we want you to ditch are the ones that we do not believe is sustainable. It is not sustainable to restrict your calories 365 days a year. Unless you're competing for a fitness show, I don't see any reason why you should ever restrict your calories. You're teaching your metabolism the wrong things, and you're likely not fueling your body to then go crush it in the gym and lift those heavy weights that we talked about, and be fueled for your day and all the things that you want to accomplish. So restricting like food groups and restricting calories is something that I used to do in the past, and I just preach that not only did it mess my body up from a hormone standpoint, but it really mentally screwed me up. And so I encourage you guys to just eat a sustainable diet with whole foods, clean foods, but your calories, restricting them is only going to show you results for a very, very short term. Then what you're going to end up doing is overeating, because you've been depriving yourself of good nutrition, and it's going to have a reverse effect. You're going to end up gaining weight.
Yeah, for sure. And the point underneath that is that there's either a surplus, a neutral, or a deficit in calories. And deficit, I don't want us to have a negative relationship with the word deficit. Morgan's talking about restriction, which is an order of magnitude more dangerous, right, than like a deficit would be. And deficits can still be dangerous, but if you're somebody that does desire, from an aesthetic purpose, to lose some body fat, well, then you do need to have a small deficit. We recommend 500 calorie deficit a week, and that way each pound weighs 3,500 calories. Think about it that way. So if you have a 500 calorie deficit per week, over time, 500, 1,000, 1,500, over a 5-6 week period, then you start to lose a pound. And that's a safe way to do it, pound of body fat. And that's a safe way to do it, especially when you're lifting and especially when you're getting your body weight in grams of protein. You're going to lose that body fat without having a restrictive mentality where like you just have zero energy. And so that's important. And if you want to gain muscle, right, you probably want to go your body weight times 1.5 in grams of protein up to 2. And then you're going to want to make sure that you have that surplus at about 500, okay? Or else you'll sacrifice that body fat. Now, this is not something I like to talk about a lot, but this is just the reality of biology and physiology, is that it's either a surplus, you're neutral and you're maintaining your weight, or you have a small deficit to lose weight. And not all calories are made equal, though. That's important to know. Like protein. Like if you're not getting your protein, you're not going to get stronger. You're not going to maximize your hypertrophy, your muscle build, and you're not getting your body the amino acids that it needs in order to be the building blocks of that protein. So 5 health and fitness trends to ditch. Morg, what's your parting thoughts?
We hope that you guys got a little bit of information from this, and maybe it just makes you question what you're going to get yourself into this year. Devan and I and Burn Boot Camp is all about supporting, your entire lifestyle and not just the fitness component. So I think we could have a whole nother 5 here of like trends to support your mental and emotional health. So maybe that will be our next topic.
Yeah, that would be a great one.
Because this is more physical. So thank you guys for listening.
Yep.
And
okay.
We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
All right. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on podcast too. Flex on it. Here we go. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.